and they're going to grid up and go. Love this, nice and early morning start. And what a magic location this is, Dean-to-go Racing.
Yeah, look, it's one of the highlights of our calendar. Love bouncing off the curbs, but also there's plenty of risk around this place. It's one small mistake and you make contact with the concrete, and you don't usually continue on from that point, but very rewarding when you do a really good lap. And these guys are about to unleash for 11 laps around here.
There are just 6 races to go in the Australian V8 Ute Racing Series, and we're getting ready for the first one in the streets of Surfers Paradise. The track looks a picture. There are a couple of scattered clouds around. We don't really know what the forecast holds. It's very warm out there at the moment, and I'm looking forward to seeing how this first race goes with Ryan Hansford on the front row alongside a local boy in Ryle Harris. It's David Cedars leading the championship. Nathan Pretty's also in that fight, as too is Hansford actually. So the front 3 in the championship are all right up there. Kim Jane quickly ducked into pit lane with some potential steering dramas. They think he's good to go off the outside of row 5. And man, we had some big dramas yesterday for a few guys. Our number 11 qualifier unfortunately pulled out of the race, Jeremy Gray, with that nasty crash yesterday in qualifying. Matty Nolan, who's got double duties here this weekend, will be starting off the back row. He's also racing in the Stadium Super Trucks. So this championship picture, David Cedars has more than one race advantage over the field. He needs to try and keep it off the fence. Jeremy Gray's crew chiefing that man for this race.
Yeah, Jeremy unlucky yesterday in qualifying. Small little mistake on the first chicane. Tagged the left-hand side of the wall, and in doing so, it broke the steering, and then he fired off to the right-hand side and made very hard contact with the concrete. So on the cans, talking to the Fat Stig, and got him through the race.
On the cans means something a bit different here in the Gold Coast usually, as Craig Dontis tightens the belts, gets himself G'd up. Big news about this championship. It's going to have a little bit of a change in machinery for next year as we welcome in the Super Utes. Go to supercars.com.au for a bit more information about that one. First race here on Saturday's ready to go. It's the Utes, their first race of the weekend. Hansford and Harris on the front row. Harris goes nowhere, he stalled it. This is not going to end well. A few cars caught up, but there could have been more. Somehow that didn't take out half the field, and we'll get down to the first corner. Cedars gets to second, and that is just not the way we wanted to see the first Ute race start. I've never seen that happen to Ryle Harris. He's usually so good at getting off the start line. He's so used to being in the front row, and what a way to start the Ute race.
Yeah, we didn't even see him move at all there, so I'm not sure whether the car lost firepower before it actually went to go green, but didn't even prop. So, like you said, unlucky, and not a lot we normally see that from Ryle. But obviously, safety car out now, and
look at this. He's having to get out the passenger side because the driver's side door hard up against the fence. Oh, this is the angle you want. Yokohama replay.
Yeah, it just didn't even move. Not even one little...
Oh. Can't get much closer than that to the start line.
Very narrow start line here, and obviously, yeah, no amount of steering lock's going to get you past that. Yeah,
well, it didn't matter anyway. He got pinched between Dontis.
Yeah, correct. So
nothing you can do about it.
We're actually lucky that it's only ended up with 2 cars out of this.
Oh. Well, we've had some big ones there before. How lucky were Wilson and Fisher to get through this one? Don't actually watch the crash this time. Just watch for the number 25 blue and white bonnet in the background. Watch how close this is. Oh, he actually makes contact with the Jesus Racing Ute, but got away with it. And a few more guys sneaking through in the background, including Oaklands, who seems to be avoiding every crash in the championship at the moment. And Harris comes through. None too impressed about how Saturday has started for him. I think he's going straight to the hotel room, straight to the fridge.
Not happy about something, but way out of his control.
Yeah, that is just a terrible way to start the first Ute race. So safety car conditions, thanks to Lexus. The car's going to come through pit lane to avoid the crash, and looking forward to get this one restarted. So a few damaged cars. Ryle Harris can only stand and watch now for the rest of the race.
Making a hand signal there of using the ignition key there, so obviously that's just lost firepower while he was sitting there, and unfortunately he didn't get his hand out the window to let the flaggies know in time to get the yellow flags out.
The important thing here is everyone involved in the championship fight managed to avoid this. So Cedars, Pretty, Hansford are now 1, 2, 3 on the racetrack. They're the top 3 guys in the championship, so very lucky. Imagine if Cedars got caught up in that one. And this is really heartbreaking to see because this car had heavy damage yesterday, being collected in an accident that wasn't his fault. They spent all night fixing it, and it lasted all of 5 metres.
Yeah, it's got substantial damage again. Even Ryle's car actually has moved that diff housing quite a long way forward. So
is that car gone for the weekend, you reckon?
Yeah, I think he's be gone for the weekend as well. But
it hurt his back.
Yeah, it was substantial contact there. And back impacts, basically, to go backwards in your seat's not always, you always normally have a frontal impact. So seatbelt's designed for that. The Hans device is designed for that. When you get a hit from behind, it's sort of not really designed for that. The inertia going backwards, you've got a lot less give in your body and things like that. So I could understand looking at the damage on his car and Wood's car. Obviously, it was, very, very hard.
How lucky it was Cam Wilson to get away with this one. You can just see that right front quarter panel's been peeled back off the right front Yokohama. His first race of the year in the Utes, and he lasted 10 metres before he made contact with someone. Obviously not his fault.
Great job to avoid it. There's a little scar on the side, but hopefully that doesn't cause him any drama on the restart.
This is how it's looking. Cedars, a comfortable lead at the moment. Now, it's 70 points for a race win. So Hansford leading the way at the moment. Should be looking to close a little bit of that gap, but Cedars right behind him, minimising as much damage as possible in terms of that championship here. And remember, this is a guy who has almost the sort of Mark Winterbottom story. Been so close for so many years and been trying to win that championship. Maybe this could be the year for David Cedars.
Yeah, and he's going the right way about it. So obviously today is all about just consolidating, and I'm sure he'll still try and push for the win, but without any risk, obviously.
How's our officials taking a bit of a hands-on approach today? I've never seen that before, an official just get in the car and drive it away.
Oh, it's still half mobile, I suppose.
Goodness me.
Get it out of the way.
All right, we're cleaning up the mess. Let's get down to the pits with Kylie.
Ryle Harris, first of all, how are you? Looked like you were rubbing your back there, a bad shunt.
Yeah, a bit of a sore back, but nothing too bad. Like, it was obviously a pretty big hit, but I don't know what happened. The car, when we first come out onto the track on the pre-grid, it just kept cutting out on me, stalling, like it was running too rich or something. And then in the warm-up lap, it was cutting out. And then coming around onto the straight, it felt pretty good, so I just didn't touch the accelerator and hoped that it would get off the line, because once I gave it a bit of poke, it was all right. So I think it's just running rich at idle, and we got the 5-second board, and I bring the revs up, and it just died straight away, and then tried to restart it, and I just got rear-ended. So it's unfortunate. It's such a tight track here. I feel bad for the other guy, but I don't know. We'll have to have a look at the car and see if we can get out for race 2, but I highly doubt it.
And what's it feel like for you in that position on the grid, stranded, nowhere to go? Knowing these Ute guys, they don't back off. What's it like for you?
That's the first time I've ever stalled on the front row, so yeah, it's not a good feeling at all. But I just feel bad for the guys. They've got a lot of damage to repair in the car now, and I'm all right. It's got a bit of a sore back, but that's pretty much it. So yeah,
we'll let you go to the medical centre just to be sure. Thanks, Ryle.
Thank you, Kylie. And Ryle's got a philosophical look at things down there. Has a bit of a smile on his face. Must be an awful feeling. Ever happened to you, stalled on the grid?
No, but I've been into the back of a car that stalled. I came from about 2 rows back, and no, that was Wakefield Park in the development series. Yeah, so Tony D'Alberto moved out of the way, and I thought, where's he going? And then all of a sudden I realised why he had swerved, and it was a good old reverse grid race. And
how about the reactions of Nathan Pretty? He was the first guy behind the tailgate of Harris. Did a really good job to miss him. From onboard Dontas' point of view, he got away with one as well there, Dontas. He could easily have been speared into the fence with that.
Yeah. And always sort of, we've seen it over the years here in many categories where if a car gets a bad start, it normally always ends in tears here. But unfortunately for Ryle, it was out of his control. Nothing he could do. And I'm sure he was trying as hard as he could to fire the car up and get out of the way. But
that initial piece of contact between this car and the stalled car actually moved both of them over towards the wall. That's how much force there was. And in doing so, probably helped 3 or 4 cars escape that one. It's a thumbs up from Cam Wilson inside. He's got the Garth Tander Sandown look going on. Yeah. Worked okay for Garth.
Bit more aero.
Yeah, no meatball flag yet for Cam Wilson, by the way.
So obviously our top 3 championship contenders, line astern, but not in order, all carrying weight penalties. Cedars with that fair margin to Hansford.
And we talked all day yesterday about how this is Harris's track. You know, 7 race wins here. No one's won more races in the Utes at this track. It's his home. He loves it here. And then, bam, that's what happens to him. Couldn't even get it off the grid.
Yeah, I mean, the good thing with the Gold Coast, if he can't get back out, he can enjoy himself for the rest of the weekend. Plenty of rooftop bars and pools and all that sort of stuff, but not the way you want to spend your weekend as a driver. But thankfully, he's all right. And,
straight to Club 600, I reckon. the Vegas-style day club that is built inside the circuit here. It's just one of the many attractions you can see. DJ Havana Brown headlining the acts down there this weekend. We had Peking Duck on the GC Sounds powered by CFM stage last night. We've got plenty more music happening out there today, and that's a good sign. The lights are out in the Lexus RCF safety car.
So 9 laps left to run.
We're getting set for the green flag. First race for the Utes. A nasty start, which saw a big shunt before we even got off the grid. It's been cleared up and we're ready to go with Ryan Hansford, who was the pole sitter, leading us back from David Cedars, the championship leader, Nathan Pretty inside the top 3. And Craig Dontis, wouldn't he love to break through for his first ever round win as we get set to fly the green and get back to action here in the Gold Coast. That's what we want to see. Here come the Utes. And they're all going to be fired up at this first chicane, I reckon.
Yeah, approaching turn 1 faster than they would be off the start line, so always a bit more potential for a bit of risk. But I'm sure these guys will settle down. Getting through this first chicane's critical.
Oh, Wilson wants a piece of the action. Oof, oof. That was tight. Look to the inside of Danny Bzadzik, who's jumped up quite a few spots to be inside the top 10. Wilson wants another crack at him, and he has it all locked up at turn 4. They give each other some room.
Nice pull back there. Obviously, he was not far enough up to sort of stay side by side, but left each other some room. Got through there safely and pressed on for the next lap. But obviously, this is when you want to pounce on someone. This first lap, when you're as close as you can be, and someone might be expecting you to make a pass.
Oh. Wilson is on it. He knows that there's a chance to get through Bzadzik if he could get a good exit. And that's exactly what he's managed to do. But Bzadzik survives another attack. But this is not going to end well. Oh, dear.
They both outbroke themselves there and couldn't pull it up. Quite easy to do in that corner.
They both get out of there. They've done really well to continue. And they'll tag onto the back of the train. Hansford's opened up a little gap. Nathan Pretty, a chance maybe. Can you get close enough to the back of Cedars? Not quite. Tell you what, vintage Ute racing.
So Cedars carrying the most success ballast. He's got to obviously slow that ballast and speed it back up. And if you haven't got the flow, that will be hurting him. But once he gets rolling, he should be okay. It was quite quick yesterday in qualifying. Cedars Hansford, he's pulled a nice little gap in 1 lap.
Yeah, great start. 1.2 seconds in our first green flag lap. Look how much of that curb they take. At 1, 2, and 3. Over the Dunlop curb cams. Down to the turn 4 hairpin. Very important to get a good exit out of here.
So obviously curb hops still apply. If you do too many in a race, you'll get first you get a warning, bad sportsmanship, and then you get a drive through. So here's that moment we had earlier. Both of them just a little bit too deep.
All over each other. Turn 11 gets plenty of attention here, and we're hearing that there will be a penalty for Cam Wilson after that one.
Oh, okay.
He was pretty fired up, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Trying to get around Danny Bzadzik. So that could lead to a drive-through penalty. But yeah, you're right. The curb hop scenario is an important one to watch out for. If you take too much of the curb, Pretty's already got 1 curb hop against his name. You can be given a 5-second penalty post-race. Oh. As they jag their way up to the Castrol Edge hairpin. You need to be careful with the throttle. 2nd gear here for Craig Dontis. Gets the limiter and gets 3rd gear just in time.
Good bit of the track down here. Obviously, it's quite narrow. It seems probably wide on TV, but when you're heading down there at over 200 k's an hour down to that first chicane, the corner goes around to the right in your braking zone, and you're just trying not to lock the inside front.
Oh, like that.
Like Dontis. And then you got to pull it up for the chicane. One small miscalculation. We saw what happened to Jeremy Gray yesterday. Bounce off the curb the wrong way, and it can send you in the wrong direction. So
or in Jeremy's case, you can hit the curb so hard it just breaks the steering wheel off in your hand, which is what happened to poor Jeremy Gray in qualifying yesterday. Bezadzic's trying to peel his way back through, picking up Maxim Eriksson, who's on debut here this weekend.
The Formula 1 driver, isn't he?
Yeah, that's Marcus Eriksson,
Oh, okay.
yeah. Very talented, can race F1s and utes. Here we go, this is a good battle. Peter Burnett is not the kind of guy to back out of a fight. He's going to have to back out of this one. Tucked in behind Bruce Oaklands.
Bad bounce off the curb there. We saw yesterday as a few guys bounced off the curb bad yesterday and made contact with the wall.
Kim Jane up the inside of Peter Burnett. Jane had to come down pit road before the start of the race with potential steering drama, so he's having to fight his way back through the pack here.
And Cedars racing on this lap, closed the gap to Hansford a little bit. But Kim, yeah, obviously had that issue on the warm-up lap, came in the pit, sorted it out, and he's fighting his way back through.
It's not been the kindest track to Kim Jane, actually one of the only tracks that he hasn't picked up a race win at, or a podium in the past. And again, it doesn't look like
them all.
Yeah, true. We're just so used to him being so successful everywhere he goes. Dontas being stalked here by the Queenslander, Mason Barbera in the IOR Petroleum Falcon. Oh, Cedars is closed here on the multi-spares ute. That gap is gone.
Yeah, so maybe tyre pressure games. Hansford may have started with a high tyre pressure. Cedars maybe a bit lower.
There you go. Last couple of laps just chipping away.
But these guys have been battling all year long. Bathurst are close to each other. And, it's all about the championship at this point in time. Hansford's obviously in the best possible spot, and he's just got to stay in front of Cedars. Cedars doesn't have to take any risk, but at the end of the day, we always want to go for glory. So
Yep.
he's still pushing quite hard. I think Hansford's responded here. A little bit of a curb hop on that lap, but he's pulled out a bit of a gap again on Cedars.
Yeah, Cedars hasn't got a curb hop yet. Keep it up your sleeve. Oh, Mason
into the back
Barbera.
of him.
He's turning up the pressure to Craig Dontas. Dontas will be racing in both the utes and the Stadium Super Trucks this weekend. And Barbera is pouring on the pressure.
Yeah, not really a passing spot there, but he's just giving him a little tap, letting him know he's there. Trying to put the pressure on Dontas. Craig's very experienced, been around a long time. I'm sure he won't succumb to the pressure.
So we start the final lap. Lost quite a bit of time with that safety car period, which is going to make life easier for Ryan Hansford. He's back out to nearly a full second. Well, there's the damage in the door of Dontas from that start line crash. Barbera's close enough. Does he have a crack? Oh, he thought about it.
Yeah, Dontas went to cover there, and Mason thought better of it. So, not sure whether he knows it's the last lap. His crew have told him. So, good battle here.
I think that'd be wise not to tell Mason it's the last lap, if you know what I mean.
Ford versus Holden, so one will be stronger in some parts of the track than the other. Flying over the curbs down the beach chicane. Good view to your right.
Oh, the battle for the lead. Hansford having to go defensive. Cedars really closed down that beach straight. But Hansford knew that the danger was present close to the door. Barbera's going to run on Dontas in the background as well, so there's fights going all around the back part of the circuit on the last lap. And Barbera gets him. Great move. The teenager from Bundaberg on a charge, but it's all about this guy in the sunshine today. The multi-spares ute will close the championship gap just a tiny bit, but Cedars doing a really good job to keep him honest in second. He's had a couple of seconds and a couple of thirds this year, but not a race win. And now we can say he's on the board here at Surfers Paradise. Ryan Hansford takes the first race win in the utes. At the penultimate round of the championship, Barbera drove the wheels off that thing to get around Dontas. I just wonder if Dontas is going to be a little bit angry with the treatment he got. It looked like he was trying to pull alongside him then after the checkered flag.
Yeah, it may have been a bit of a bump and run, I reckon.
Here he is.
Yeah. See the fumes coming out. One of those things around this track, it's quite hard to pass, but yeah.
He doesn't look all that happy
hand
in
signals.
He's
We can
going
hear him,
off in
so
there.
something's obviously happened, but I'm sure they'll do a post-race investigation into that one.
That was entertaining stuff. Ryan Hansford gets the win. David Cedars, though, is still very much in control of this championship. Nathan Pretty third. That was the battle for fourth. Barbera versus Dontas. Fisher, another solid result for him. Steve Wilson, incredible. One of his best results of the year. Matty Nolan drove off the back to be inside the top 10. Craig Woods and Raul Harris, though, those two guys, definitely the heartbreak